Hello, my name is Bill Malone, and this is my video discussion post for EDU 630, Week 3. How I collect data from my students and how I use the data. A direct quote from our textbook written by Roblier and Hughes, 2019. When all teachers and learners have computing access at all times, it enables integrated strategies that require a device for each student. A meta-analysis of one-to-one computer programming found that they had a positive impact across science, writing, math, English, and writing skills. Having one-to-one programming also allows for activities such as whole class simulated and independent work, along with group collaborations and centers. I would like to start this video by just stating up front that I've never been a classroom instructor. My experience in teaching has been exclusively in the adult training environment. With that being said, I've used various methods of collecting data from my students. And this includes, but isn't completely limited to, formative assessments like online methods, using written feedback, weekly quizzes, personally developed online surveys, and I'm able to develop these fairly easily because all of my students have always had computers. They've always had ThinkPads or some other form of access to the internet. So for me, I'm able to present to them computer simulations and various assessments to get them to evaluate their feedback almost immediately. Although I'm not sure if this is a one-to-one computing situation because my students do have outside obligations in addition to my instruction. But I do want to point out that Roblier and Hughes does present the many benefits of this one-to-one computing program process, which I do believe my situation is rather close because, again, I always have access to the computer, and so do my students. Have you taught your students how to collect and organize their data? Yes, I try really hard to teach my students to collect and organize and analyze their own data because I think it's very important to keep track of their own academic information, their own academic progress. I suggest they use formative tests that will allow them to keep real-time analysis of their own strengths and weaknesses. I generally like to discuss their personal assessments with them, with each student, and help them assess and better understand and see their own growth and progress. I've always believed that by teaching the student how to personally review and analyze their own data, it will help them not only evaluate their progress and not only see where they're going, but to also appreciate the value of their own educational growth and development. The Bible says in Proverbs 16:16, how much better it is to get wisdom over gold and to get understanding over silver. I've always believed that education is the most important thing you can get, and I like for my students to be in constant, take every opportunity they can to gather data on themselves and to assess where they are going. What methods work well for you? As stated, I've never been a classroom instructor, and I'm personally looking forward to learning the most effective methods of data collection for my students. But the methods I have used is, like I said, online formative tests. I like to review those evaluations, and I like to follow up and have discussions with them. I also use Excel spreadsheets to help me keep track and monitor what it is I am doing and what is happening in the courses that I'm teaching. And I want my students to keep track as well. So I also spend time helping them develop their own personal spreadsheets. I hope this was informative. I hope I met all the points, and I'm trusting God that this works out well. God bless. Thank you.